Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to Desert Sky Mystic. Today we're going to be doing our love and relationship reading for Cancer. Now this is going to be a general reading, which means it may not apply to all of you, but if it does, please make sure to like the video. That will help us know which messages land and which ones don't. And then this is our kind of 3-in-1 format is what I've been calling it. So basically the first placement is going to be for a reading for those of you that are in a relationship. The second placement is going to be for those of you that want to be in a relationship. And the third placement is going to be a reading for those of you that are moving away from a relationship. So if one of those applies more to you than the other, you can always go down to the description box there and click on one of those timestamps and it'll fast forward you to that point in the video. So having said that, let's go on and see what this reading has in store for all my Cancer friends. Okay, if you're joining us for the reading that is working with those of you that are in a relationship, you are in the right spot. We're going to go on and flip this card over and see what we are working with today. Dog spirit, be loyal to what you love. Maybe at this point in time, the relationship is not in the best of spots. Maybe it's having some trouble. Maybe you're going through a growth period. A lot of times when we're in relationships, there's this fluctuation where, we grow apart and then we grow back together. I think part of the key to long-term relationships is kind of recognizing when you are growing apart and taking steps to, change that to kind of get that growth going back together, because we do change. I mean, over time, especially even 5 years, even a year, a lot can happen. But 5 years, think about 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. Think about a couple that's got together when they're in their early 20s and now they're in their 40s or their 50s. I mean, you are completely different people and so much has happened. So there is this saying, this kind of just like ebb and flow. And I think right now, things maybe are a little tough. You feel like, the distance is growing between you two. And I think this is calling for you to recognize that, perhaps this growth period is happening, that you are kind of going in different directions, and try to start moving this back in the right way, to start growing back together and move forward in a relationship as a couple. And that loyalty is what pulls us through, because love is such an interesting thing, because there are definitely times we don't always like each other, but if you're loyal and you believe in the relationship and you have things in common and it's something worth fighting for, that's what gets us past those points. If relationships ended every time we weren't wild about the other person, nobody would be in a relationship for very long, that's for sure. So again, be loyal to what you love, I think, is a pretty clear message here, and a pretty strong message. But let's take a look at couple of these clarification cards, see if we can get some more information on perhaps what's going on or where this is going. Okay, armor's up. There's been fights, there's been difficulty, there's been challenges. Who knows? It doesn't really matter on whose side it is. My guess is if it's like most other relationships, it's kind of a shared deal. It takes two to kind of fight. But I think that, armor's up on both sides, defenses are up, and you're kind of dug in here. This fighting is really this card is really about just being focused in and not really open to listening, just being really guarded with everything that's going on. The problem is that when you're so focused and you're not open to hearing everything, and you think what's happening, and you're not willing to compromise, you're not willing to take a look at the other side. And when that other person's in that same state, especially, things can get pretty ugly. But yeah, I think this just reinforces the idea that, things have been kind of a challenge here. On the upside, though, we do have the success card, and I do think you do turn this around. For those of you that decide that, you know, this is worth it and you want to work on this and you want to make this happen, I think that just the simple fact of acknowledging it, taking some time to yourself and figuring out what it is you actually want, and remembering that this is worth it to you, that those conversations can then start to happen, that armor can kind of fall off and it can kind of free up for both of you. Now, if it's something that is, if it's something that's been going on for quite a while, and you just don't know what to do, well, find help. There's nothing wrong with help. There's people out there that's trained to help us have these breakthroughs. You know, they have tools and strategies, and, you know, I mean, sometimes we just don't know how to get something done. Doesn't make us a failure by any means. It just means we just don't know. And then those strategies and those tools that we learn through these processes help minimize future things like this, or help us move through those better, help us recognize things before they get to this point. You know, so I would say definitely, if that's where you're at, get some help. I mean, the sooner you get through this, the happier everybody's going to be. So why wait? You know, you don't want to waste all this time and all this negativity and all this kind of repressed emotion and stuff. Start working through it now. If you don't know how to, find some help. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not talking about the type of help that, you know, your friends would provide either, on either side. I'm talking, this is gender neutral here, you know, whether you're a guy or a gal that's watching this video right now. You know, your friends are going to take your side. They're going to, of course, prop you up and support you. But there's also, as we all know, I mean, sometimes friends are just going to sit there and feed into it and not tell us how it, you know, really is, and not really force us to confront what we contributed. Because again, in almost all of these situations, both sides of the party are contributing to this. And you know, friends that reinforce the idea that you're right and they're wrong isn't going to move you forward. The help I'm trying to talk, or that I'm talking about here, is you know, whether it be some kind of counseling, or, you know, whatever that is, whether it's like the therapy type counseling, like you know, certified counselors, or church counselors, or whatever that is to help you through this. Go seek their advice. But again, I think that you are successful. We do have the success card. It's a pretty straightforward card here. I think that once you start working here, it goes sooner than later for you, and it makes you guys stronger for sure. Let's take a look at the advice card. Let's just see if we can get some more details, or perhaps some extra information about what's going on here and what we should do about it. There we go. Being bullheaded. Yeah, probably are. One or both of you. My guess is both of you. I mean, because we get like that. We dig in, you know, we concentrate on what the other person's doing wrong, and all things are right, and all of our sacrifices, and vice versa. But if we're really being honest with ourselves, like I said before, we both are probably contributing to the problems that are happening right now, the breakdown of communication, you know, the defensiveness, all of that stuff. So yeah, the name of the card being bullheaded. Yeah, you probably are, and so are probably they. So I think this is just kind of stating the obvious, and I think that that's great, because now, you know, if nothing else, when this reading's over, ask yourself, what are you being bullheaded about, and is it reasonable? I mean, if you're serious about moving forward, if you're serious about breaking through, if you're serious about being loyal to what you love, ask those questions and figure it out. You can't control what the other person's going to do or whatever, but if you start asking those questions, if you start, you know, seeking that help and so forth, this other person's going to soften. They're going to see you're making an effort and trying and so forth. And they're not going to come at you with the same intensity as they would come at you if you're both armored up if you're both armored up and ready and willing to fight and battle it out and blame and all that stuff, the other person's ready to as well. But if that person sees that you're not really playing that game anymore, that you're really trying to figure this out, they're going to soften as well. So that's what I have for this reading. I hope it was helpful. If it resonates with you, please make sure to like the video. And then, as always, make sure to also, while you're there, subscribe to the channel. Just hit that little button, and that helps us out quite a bit. And of course, we'd love to have you as part of the family. So thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time. Hey, everybody, we are moving on to the part of the reading that is working with folks that want to be in a relationship, that are looking for love, and just to kind of see what kind of energies we are working with right now and what's coming our way. So I'm going to flip this card and see what we have in store. Watch and wait. Seahorse spirit, be patient. Don't rush in. You know, a lot of times what happens, especially if you're out of a more of a recent relationship, we try to heal one relationship by jumping into another. Helps us forget, helps distract us more than anything. You know, the problem is that the same issues that we took into that previous relationship, we're bringing into this new relationship, even if it is kind of a distraction. Another thing that tends to happen is that a lot of times you get into the relationship with the type of person you just got out of the relationship with, and they bring the same type of issues. You know what, I always say that what's important when you come out of a relationship is really just rediscovering who you are as an individual, given some time. Now, I'm not talking about dating for a couple weeks or a month or whatever else. It wasn't really serious. I'm talking about the type of relationship that you've been in for a while, you were invested, there's you got out, and there's some emotional I don't want to say damage, but you were sad about it. There's some pain and hurt and connection and some separation stuff that you had to kind of work through, which is very natural for any relationship that we're invested in. Those are the type of relationships. And this one is kind of, I think, saying be patient, find the right person, get to know the person first, that there is no need to be in a rush. We'll take a look at some of these clarifying cards and see if we can get some more energy or some more information surrounding this energy as well. But watch and wait screams patience to me. So let's see what we have. Let's see if this is the same direction, if this takes us somewhere else here. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the Innocence card here. These are both, I think, reinforce kind of the original message here. The Innocence card is really about simplifying your life, uncomplicating it. And I think that reinforces the idea of not jumping into a new relationship, kind of sitting back and waiting, just rediscovering who you are as an individual outside of the relationship. I think you're probably already in that process. But really taking your time here, enjoying being single, enjoying discovering who you are, and enjoying just being you, and having that time and doing the things that you want to do. And I know that there's definitely going to be swing days to where some days you really want to, maybe you're lonely, and then other days, you feel really independent. But I think you're very much in the process of just kind of being you and taking that time for you. Now, I will say that it looks like there's some cool things on the horizon for you. We do have the adventure card here. I almost get the sense, though, that this still isn't necessarily the type of relationship that you think you may want. I think that this is fun. I think this is adventure. I think that you're going to bump into somebody that you really enjoy spending time with. And maybe this does turn into the longer term relationship. But I think on the front end, what really needs to happen here is, one, don't make it complicated, and two, get to know the person. Don't make decisions based on made up things. So what I mean by that is, again, a lot of times what we tend to do when we meet somebody is, in a very short period of time, we concoct this image of who this person is, how they are, the things they like, the things they don't like, and all these other things. And we build this person up in our mind. And what ends up happening is that we discover over a certain period of time that they're not that person at all. And then we blame them. We say, well, you're not living up to my expectations. Well, that wasn't their fault. I mean, you did that. And so I think it's important that you get to know who they actually are, as opposed to kind of like that projection of who you think they are. But in the meantime, I think that this is going to be fun. You're really going to enjoy this. And I think this may have some legs, but I think, again, you need to have patience through this, because again, if you try to predict who this person is and they fall short of your expectations, that's just going to bring up some bad stuff from maybe your past, maybe, because again, those projections, they're, if they fail that, did other relationships fail in that same way? And does this new person then remind you of an old relationship? And does it create these red flags that really weren't ever even there in the first place? So again, get to know the person, and do your best to kind of just stay open to that. Be patient. Don't invest too much too quickly. But in the meantime, there's also going to be, you're going to enjoy it. Maybe you'll take some trips with this person. Maybe you just enjoy spending time with them or whatever else, or her. And I do think that there's good stuff to come this way. But I think that you need to be careful not to kind of mess it up before it even gets started. So again, watch and wait, see who they are, be patient, uncomplicate, and enjoy the adventure. Let's take a look at this advice card and see what it has to add to our message today for you. Express gratitude. Live in the moment. Just enjoy day by day. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about the future. Express gratitude for the good things in your life today. And I think that's really, it reinforces the don't complicate things. It reinforces the, hey, enjoy the adventure. Don't muck it all up with, again, trying to go in too fast in a relationship. Don't muck it all up with setting up expectations for somebody that, they're most likely going to fail. I think it's a great card. Just kind of cap it off. Express gratitude reinforces the entire reading here. And just, again, live day by day. Be happy for what you got. Enjoy being you. Enjoy having fun. Enjoy the experience of the day. And don't get caught up in the past. Don't get caught up in the future. Just take it day by day, and things will work out the way they're supposed to. So I hope this has been helpful. If this resonates with you, please make sure to like the video. And then, of course, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button as well. Thank you once again for watching, and we will see you next time. Hey everybody, if you are here for the part of the reading, dealing with folks that are moving away from a relationship, you are in the right spot. We will go on and jump right in, flip this card, and see what kind of energies we are working with today. What kind of messages Spirit has for us. Nightingale spirit, love is all around. I love this card, especially as we're moving out of a relationship. Maybe we're just thinking, maybe we haven't actually got out of the relationship. Maybe we are out of the relationship, but regardless, I think this is really speaking to the idea that you have a lot of support around you, friends, family, people that love you, people that know you, people that know you outside of this relationship, people that knew you beforehand, knew who you were before, you kind of had to readjust. And we all change, and as we get into relationship, we're still individuals, but then there's the part of the us that's in the relationship. So the people that are around you, the people that love you, the people that support you, the people that knew you, the you before the relationship, the you during the relationship, and still love you, those are the people you need to be around right now. Regardless of where you're actually at, whether you've decided, okay, enough's enough on this relationship, it's time to move forward, or you're already out of that position and you're kind of working through the stages of grief that we have to work ourselves through when we do leave a relationship. Your friends, family, people that love you are going to be very important here for you. Let's take a look at a couple clarification cards, see if we can get some more information. Okay, so we have the mind card and we have the letting go card over here. And I think the timing was right. That's what the letting go card. I mean, the time was right. You knew it was right. Perhaps you thought about in the past, for, perhaps, you kind of back and forth and back and forth. But whatever this is, I think there's a certain point where you're just like, it's it. This is enough. I mean, I know this isn't going to work out long term. And regardless how long it took you to make the actual decision and, pull the trigger, I think that there was a moment where that was it. You're like, I know this isn't going anywhere else. And even if you kind of try to fool yourself into believing that maybe it could, or maybe you're second guessing yourself, I think there was always that point where you just knew, and that was it. And from that moment forward, it was just a matter of time. I do think that this has been a relationship's kind of messed with your head. It's kind of fogged things up for you. It's kind of made you question yourself, who you are, what's happening. It's been kind of at least for a certain portion, I'm going to say in the whole relationship, but definitely towards the end, I think that you're feeling really trapped here, bound up, that everything is just really foggy, that, you weren't happy at all. So I think that the decision was right. I think that these things are never easy, but again, you made the right decision. And now, like I said, is where the healing process comes in, is going to involve the people around you. They're going to prop you up. They're going to sort all that out, get all that smoke and fog and smog cleared out of your head, and just kind of, again, find out who you are now that you've had this new experience, that this relationship's over, about to be over, and get back to enjoying life. Because, I mean, what's the point of a relationship if it's unpleasant? If you don't feel good about yourself, you don't feel good about the relationship. And there's nothing there worth holding on to or fighting for. Again, it's just time to move on. Life's too short. So let's take a look at the advice card and see if what it adds to the message here from Spirit today. Tell your story. I like that. What I really like about this as well is that, we got the nightingale here, and then maybe it's a sparrow of some sort. I'm not sure what kind of bird this is, but, tell your story. I mean, I think you need to talk about this. I think you need to process this, and I think talking to your friends and your family and loved ones is going to help give you perspective. It's going to help you heal quicker. And I think that you do need to rely on the people that are around you. They can understand, they can support you and move you through this. But I think you get there not by shutting down and being quiet, by opening up, by hanging out, by going out with your friends, by hanging out with your family, by talking to them, by listening to their advice, because they're seeing clearly, a lot clearer than you are right now. And on top of that, they have your best interests in mind and at heart, and they know who you are ultimately. They've seen you through multiple relationships, in and out of them. So they have a great perspective that you may not have. And the only way that they're going to be able to do this is just by staying open with the people that you trust and the people that love you and want to see the best for you. So I really like that card for you to wrap up this reading. So tell your story. I like that. So I hope this has been helpful. If it resonates with you, please make sure to like the video, and then of course go over there and hit that subscribe button while you're there as well. Thank you in advance for that. Yeah, so again, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.